You are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. Mark covers all things Penn State football and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as anything related to the sports and fitness world. Tune in weekly to listen to a couple of dedicated fans talk about these topics without filters. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast.
What's up, mateys? Welcome to the Mark Lesko Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Rod, and this is Pirate Central. What a game this is. Baseball, one time you're cursing them for getting swept by one of the worst teams in baseball, and then you turn around and then you actually destroy one of the best teams in baseball, and you take 2 out of 3 from a very respectable Arizona Diamondback team. Like, this is just how baseball goes. I'm absolutely impressed with everything I've seen from the series after the White Sox going out there and sweeping a team like the Tigers. Like, that's just ridiculous. I mean, with the whole Mets and Cardinals series we had a couple weeks ago, no one ever thought that would be possible, and that's just the nature of the game. We should all know this. If we're all fans of this game, we should know how inconsistent this game can be. As infuriated and as frustrating as this organization makes it for you to watch, he turns around, then they give you something to actually enjoy. You can't predict how it's all going to go down. You just cannot. All you can do as a fan is go out there and root for them, or stay at home and root for them. However you want to root for them, that's just what you do. And 162 games, there's bound to be a stretch of inconsistency, and then there's going to be a stretch of consistency. And that's exactly what we witnessed. We saw them take 5 out of 6 after that horrendous display with the first series. So they ended up their homestand being 5-4, a winning record, something you just cannot say that you can't enjoy seeing. I mean, it's a very important thing for them to bounce back like they did, show like they actually have a little bit of fight. I mean, they didn't completely maul everybody over, but today's win was 6-0, completely destroyed them. But because we know who was pitching today, and I'll get to that guy in my next segment. But for the first pitch, it's all about these last 2 series. Seeing this sweep from this team, yeah, that's something you were not expecting. And again, you can't predict, but if you're a person who gambles on this stuff, you're definitely up in arms, because you just think, well, I just saw them lose to the worst team. Logic would dictate to say that they were going to beat the best team and sweep them. Yeah, that's how you're going to think. But they did, and they looked very good. They played a very great series. They played baseball in that series against the Tigers. That first win, they actually had a very collective performance from everyone around. Everything was smart. They played the ball smart on the field. They caught it. They played great defense. They just made smart decisions. A lot of things were going great in terms of watching certain players make the decisions that they usually don't make correctly. I mean, guys like Oneil Cruz, a little bit of a sleeper when the Tigers did what they did. And, he was on first. He saw them going from second to third, and the guy on first, Torkelson, did not handle the ball right. And all of a sudden you saw Cruz take off. And it was so smart by him, because he caught him napping. That is so great to see that is in them, that they can play smart. But to see it all year round, that's what you normally would like to see from a team. But if you see it at all, that's a great sign that things can happen. But a lot of things have to go their way, as we had seen. And it did. And then you go to the series with the Diamondbacks. I mean, you look at the game on Friday, the 1-0 loss. Going into extra innings, 11 innings, and you got 1 hit. I mean, goodness gracious. That had to have been the most deflating thing I have ever seen. But you bounce back, and you have Oneil Cruz do 2-0, and he hits that fantastic home run. But that was kind of your only offense, and really anyone doing anything on the team. And today, 6-0, what did you have? You had Oneil Cruz doing some great, spectacular things. He was on first base. Tommy Pham hits a routine ball out to the outfield, and that guy went from first base to home, I think, in the course of 8 seconds. That is lightning. That is some of the fastest running I have ever seen. Watching that man just go around second, and it's like halfway to the outfielder, and then he gets the ball finally, and he's like 2 steps from the third, and he just books. I mean, it's insane to think the guy was like, oh crap, he's actually going. And he is absolutely one of the fastest players in baseball. That was a crazy play to see happen. And, guys like Tommy Pham, he had a great day. Brian Reynolds finally had a great day, had that big double. And then you had Cruz after him single. Like, there was just a lot of good offense today, specifically. And what you saw was everyone was doing what they're supposed to do offensively. And you saw the results. It's not that difficult. Again, when you look at how series are played, even if it's an opponent that you're supposed to lose to, or you don't have the payroll that the other team has, the game itself is not that difficult to figure out. It's just not. When a ball comes to you, you play it how far he's off the bag. You try to either make the double play or like you just get the out itself. You just get the lead runner and that's it. But with baseball, or with the Pirates' case, like, a lot of mistakes have been made collectively all throughout the season, but not in these 2 series. It was very refreshing to know that this team can have sound players doing what they're supposed to do. And for them to actually show it just more than one game, like actually a consistent series after series. So we've seen 2 series where they've actually done some pretty spectacular things. So I am absolutely all here for this type of ball moving forward. Now, are we going to have all these players after the trade deadline? I know that's coming, but I'm going to be doing an episode tomorrow specifically with the trade deadline, trying to keep up with all the things and all the news. Because, yes, we do know that there's a lot of guys being moved, and coincidentally, it's the guys that had done some pretty good things so far. Tommy Pham has upped his batting average. Hayes is all of a sudden really starting to come on, and it sounds like he might be gone. And I'm hearing the whispers that Cruz could very well be gone too. But if I'm asking the Pirates to not touch anyone, I'm asking them not to touch O'Neal Cruz. I'll say that today, but we'll get more into detail with that tomorrow. So there's my first pitch reaction to these games. It was fantastic to see them bounce back. Hopefully they continue to do these types of things with the next series that come up. Now, the 7th inning stretch, again, I promised in the next videos that I was going to be doing, I would do nothing but positive talk. And that is what I'm doing. I'm talking positively about 2 guys in particular that made these series what they were. Paul Skenes. How can I even think about having anything negative to say about Paul Skenes? Only that he doesn't pitch more. That's the only negative I'm going to say. If I could watch that guy pitch every day, that team would be fantastic. It would definitely be in a conversation for the playoffs. He has just absolutely some electric stuff. It doesn't even have to be said. Anyone who watches this game, it is a captain obvious thing that Paul Skenes is basically this generation's Nolan Ryan, that generation, Sandy Koufax, Walter Johnson, Pedro Martinez, Greg Maddux. You can list off all these incredible pitchers in the conversation. Now Paul Skenes, the P for Paul Skenes, he is absolutely in the category or conversation for the greatest pitcher in the history of the game. It's not even a question that many people should kind of be like, well, let's pump the brake. After 2 seasons, the guy is only 23 years old, and he already has 316 strikeouts. His career whip is 0.93. I know that the only thing that's embarrassing about it is that he only has a winning record of 17-11. The fact that he has 11 losses in his career, of course, goes to what that offense has given him. But he is elite. As much as you want to try to come up with all the tangibles for why other pitchers have the opportunity to be in the conversation with him, it's just not even a discussion really what he doesn't or does not do. The guy is just on every single cylinder in every different facet of the game. As a pitcher, he is just as good as it's going to get. And I am just all for knowing that he will be with us for the foreseeable future. He won't go into the Hall of Fame as a Pirate. He will not be known for being a Pirate. People will probably forget that he was a Pirate, except for the people who are Pirate fans. But we know that it started here. It was absolutely a privilege to know that he was the one who started with this team. The know-how and the intuitive nature that he has. Like, I don't think there is a smarter player and a more just a well-performed, like, he just knows how to play the game as good as anyone out there. He prepares like an elite athlete. He gets in this zone that, again, is just untouchable. Not many people can reach this. Like, it is the top of the mountain. It's over the mountain. It's like he made his own mountain and he scaled that one, and he's now working on another one. It's crazy to think how this guy just continues to make us think of what else you could say other than he is elite. He's perfect. It's just the greatest thing to know that he will go somewhere else, but he started here. I will always be championing that fact that Paul Skenes was a Pittsburgh Pirate to start, and he did spectacular things. And whoever gets him, just know that it was us that, allowed him to start his stuff. So it'll always be here that he started. So again, what more can be said about Paul Skenes other than he is just the guy. He's the player. So, and then we move on to the other side of the ball, and this guy actually is showing some pretty fantastic stuff too. Seeing O'Neal Cruz come out of this, area in which, yeah, he had the home run derby and he was spectacular in it. I was so happy to see that representation at the All-Star Game week and having him at the home run derby. It was spectacular. He had the old school style that everyone just could not believe what they were witnessing. He had strides in his rounds where he was hitting bombs 470, 480, 513 feet. That's just insane to know that there's a person who can still hit balls that far. That was what everyone always loved about it when I was growing up. They just did what they did, and Cruz is just all different types of athletes. He is so tall, and yet he's so athletic. He does so many things right. He just knows how to get from point A to point B so quick. He's agile. He is like one of the most graceful players that you can pretty much get. At his height and his size, it's just something to really appreciate. And he's, I think, finally coming into a groove. And seeing if he could stay in this area of consistency where his stuff shows in that elite level, that's all the more I can ask for. Can I ask the guy just to get a 250 batting average? That would be great. I mean, knowing that it's like around 225, 230 right now, it'd just be nice to see that go up just a little bit more. Because again, you asked him to go from shortstop to center field. And yeah, he did struggle a lot with that position. And sometimes you had to DH him just to put him out in the field because you knew you needed his bat. But for the last few months, he has really started to command that position. He hasn't made really any bad mistakes since late May, early June. It's been quite some time since the guy has really looked all that, inconsistent, making a guy learn a new position at the age like he was, knowing his whole life he did one position and you're asking him to add on something else. It's definitely one of the more positive turnarounds of this season. Again, fantastic to see that there is a positive with this team. And yes, I very much, again, want to repeat one more time to please do not trade this guy away. I know they need pieces, but this is a guy for the future. He's only 27. Like, that's right there in the start of your career. Like, that's when everything starts taking off. And knowing that he has 17 home runs right now, that is a great thing to see. You just need like 2 or 3 more guys that can produce numbers like that, and you'll have an offense. That's the only thing we're really missing. We always talk about how great our pitching is, but the hitting has finally started to do something. To get these guys going in the next season, again, we had still 2 more months of baseball. And to get some sort of identity going, get maybe some of the offense to start playing like you want to do something for next year. Because, again, you're going to have Paul Skenes, Jared Jones will be back, and I know Keller will be gone, but, maybe the minor league will surprise us. Maybe we'll get Bubba Chandler up here finally, and he'll just be another Keller. I mean, we don't really know what's going to happen until it happens. So I'm all for what we're seeing right now. And yeah, we'll be going into the trade deadline tomorrow, but I'm going to close it out with this, you guys. This, again, this turnaround can happen with baseball. I mean, anyone in any division knows that you could have as big a cushion, with a separation with some divisions. I know the Tigers have like an 8 or 9 game cushion against the second best team. So it's like they can do whatever they want. Their rebuild has finally showed that they can actually get somewhere, and they're going to probably acquire a lot of guys. And it's going to be nice to see what the trade deadline brings for a lot of teams for who are going to the playoffs and moving forward. Teams like Chicago, they're going to be interesting to watch to see what happens with their trade deadline. Teams that are kind of in the middle of it, like they're kind of in the hunt of everything. Like the Red Sox will be interesting to see what they do with their trade deadline pieces. Teams like the Giants, like they have that right there in the middle. Padres, again, another Los Angeles team. There's a lot of things that are going to be happening for everybody all around the league. So it's going to be a busy couple of days. And yeah, like you want to see this competition start to heat up. Now, teams like Seattle, yes, I do expect them. They already did acquire Josh Naylor from the Diamondbacks, so they've got some more good pieces. They're kind of in that conversation. I don't know what teams like the Astros are going to be doing, but yeah, the Blue Jays should be definitely adding too. Again, there's so many things that are going to go down this year, and it's really exciting. Like I know that when we give our pieces away, when we do that, all I can ask for is whatever the return is, that it will actually be something that will get them to the next level. We've had 6 years of inconsistencies and no winning records. It's time to kind of flip that page, I think. And I know that Sherrington should be gone by the end of the season. He should have been gone by the All-Star break, but this team would rather just constantly give you the headaches that it does. But again, you try your darndest to find positives, and I don't want to go down that road again. Again, we already know what the negatives are, but I want to try and stay on positives. So with that being said, guys, I really do appreciate your time. I always love doing this. This team gives you a good reason to like them occasionally, and this was a good week. So maybe next week will be the same thing, because I know we are at the Giants, and then we are somewhere down the road, but we'll discuss this upcoming series as well. So again, you guys have yourselves a good one, and until next time, let's go Bucks.